There was a snail, small and unassuming, with a shell as dark as wet earth. No one knew where it came from, but once it appeared in the town, things began to change. Slowly. At first, it was always moving. The snail, unlike others, it never paused to rest or to eat, day and night. It crept along, leaving a glistening trail behind it thicker, more opaque than normal snail slime. People didn't pay much attention at first. It was just a snail, after all. But then, one night, old Mrs. Carter vanished from her front porch. They found her shoes, neatly placed by the steps, but no sign of her. The next morning, the snail was seen near her house, its slick trail snaking up her porch. The townsfolk started to notice the pattern. Wherever the snail went, someone disappeared. A child, a farmer, even a policeman who had tried to step on the snail. It made no difference, and no matter how far the creature moved, it always came back. People began avoiding its path, not daring to cross its trail. The town became hollow, fewer and fewer faces in the streets as the snail silently passed from house to house. The last person to see it alive was Timmy, the boy who lived at the edge of town. He watched it one evening from his window as it crept toward his house. He was terrified, but as the snail's trail drew closer, he couldn't help himself. Something about it pulled at him, almost like a soft hum in his mind, telling him to follow. Timmy ran outside, his feet drawn to the slick path. He crouched beside the snail as it passed, mesmerized by its steady movement, the glistening slime sparkling under the dim moonlight. He reached out, his hand trembling, as if something inside him needed to touch it. The moment his finger grazed the trail, he felt a deep, freezing cold spread through him, seeping into his bones. His legs refused to move, his breath slowed, and as the snail continued forward, Timmy's body stiffened, skin pallid, his eyes widened and blinking. The last thing he heard was the low, rhythmic hum echoing in his mind. The next morning, Timmy was gone. His clothes were found by the door, untouched, as if he'd never existed. The snail, however, was still moving. It never stopped. It never would. And with each passing day, the trail it left behind became longer, thicker, stretching into the empty streets of the hollow town.